Hello students, today we are working on Excel Module 5, Project 1, Flexy Wireless Working with Multiple Worksheets and Workbooks. So go ahead and pull up your Cengage assignment, click on Start, and then download all of your files here. Don't worry about the instructions, pulling those up. I'll have this put up on my screen. Make sure that you pull down this one here, your start file, and then you definitely need this support file. Once you have that, we will go ahead and get started. Okay, as always, enable editing. Go up to File, save your file where it is easiest for you to find. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Gilberto Rey is a financial analyst for Flexy Wireless Communications, a telecommunications company in Sacramento, California. In addition to cell phones and wireless plans, Flexy sells electronic accessories such as charging pads and headphones. Gilberto is analyzing the revenue generated from the sales of accessories and asks for your help in completing the analysis. So we will go to the annual sales worksheet. So down here at the bottom, go to annual sales. In the range B5 to B9, so we're going to be working in this area right here. Gilberto wants to consolidate the sales data from quarters 1 through 4 in the previous year. So we're going to put that information here in cell B5 with a formula using the sum function, and then we will use a 3D reference to total the cells for batteries and chargers using the data on the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 worksheets, which are down here. Then we will fill the range from B6 to B9 with that formula we created in B5 to calculate the total annual sales for the other types of accessories. Okay, so this isn't difficult. Just pay attention, follow along. All right, so we're going to put in the equal sign, type in sum, and then we need to start off with that open parentheses. So again, you see here where we have our formula started, just like we did in our last assignment. So we are going to now click on quarter 1, and then you will see that you're going to start with the formula up here in the top. Once you have that, we are going to hold down the Shift key, and then we are going to select quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Once you do that, we're going to click on B5, because that's showing the formula in the system that is the range that we are looking for. We are looking for all those numbers that are in B5. So of course, we now need to close that off. Once you do, hit enter. It will bring you back over to your annual cells. Now we can go ahead and finish out, grab our fill handle, pull down, and we can pull that formula down into the rest of our cells. All right, step number 2. Gilberto also wants to display the total accessory sales from the previous year. This data is stored in another workbook. So that is going to be in our accessories workbook. So we are going to work in cell B12 of Gilberto's workbook, and we're going to insert a formula using an external reference to cell B10 in the accessories worksheet. Okay, so to do that, we're going to start this off by putting in an equal sign. Once we put in an equal sign, you should be able to go up to View, as long as you have already downloaded your accessories Excel sheet. So right here, it should pop up under Switch Windows. Then we can switch the window. Mine popped up on my second screen, so I'll just pull this over so you all can see. So we want to pull this number that's here in cell B10. Click on that, and when you do, you will see a long formula populate in your B12 on your annual cells. Once you have that, hit enter, and you should have a total number of $983,893.73. Okay, we are now on step number 3. Gilberto wants to make some changes to all 5 worksheets, which have the same structure. So we need to group the annual sales, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 worksheets. And then we're going to go in cell F1, and that's where we're going to place a date. We're going to place the date using the today function to display today's date. So that anytime that you pop in, that date's going to change to the date that you are accessing the document. All right, so we have annual sales already selected. So now we are going to hold down the Shift key, and then we're going to select quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Now we know that those are all grouped by 2 ways. One, we see that there is a green line underneath showing that they're all grouped. Also, if you were to right click, you'll see down here at the bottom, it will say ungrouped sheets. So that's 2 ways that you know that you have done it successfully. So we're going to go back over to our annual sales, and we are going to type in our formula, which is equals, and then we're going to type in today in capital letters, open parentheses, close parentheses, hit enter. So that's going to put in today's date, which is March 5th, 2025. So if you come over and you click on quarter 1, that date has now populated over into that cell, as well as in quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. All right, on to step number 4. In the range D5 to D9. So we're now working in this area here. And this will be on all 5 worksheets because we are still grouped. Gilberto wants to project next year's sales for each accessory rounded up to 0 decimal places so the values are easier to remember. So in cell D5, we need to enter a formula using the roundup function that adds the cells for batteries and chargers in 2023, which is in cell B5, to the cells for the same accessories, which is also in cell B5, multiplied by the projected increase percentage, which is in cell C5. Then we will round the result up to 0 decimal places. Then we get to fill the range D6 to D9 with that formula that we created in cell D5. All right, so we're just going to take this piece by piece. We're going to follow these directions. So we are going to enter a formula. So the first thing is enter a formula. We know we start all of our formulas with an equal sign. Then we are going to type in round up in all capital letters. Then once we do, we're going to do a parentheses. So we have our parentheses, but now we need another parentheses because we are going to put a formula inside of another formula on the outside, which will be that 0, and then we will close it off. So we need to take cells B5, and then we're going to add that to cell B5, and then we need to multiply by the projected increase percentage, which is cell C5. So we know we need to do shift number 8 to get our asterisks. So now we need to do C5, close off that formula. Now we're going to put in our comma. Remember, when we put in our comma, now it switches to the next. Now we need to put in our number digits, and we want to round it. So we want to put in a 0 because we want it rounded to 0. Close that off, and then hit enter. So you should have this number, $125,124. Here's the formula up on top if you need to look at it again. And then take your fill handle, and let's fill the rest of our cells with our formula. Okay, on to step number 5. We are going to ungroup our worksheets. That is as simple as right-click, where annual sales is, ungroup sheets, and it is now no longer grouped. The way we know that is that there's no longer a green line going across the bottom. All right, so now we're going to use the quarter name in cell F5 of the annual sales worksheet to fill the range G5 to I5 with the names of the remaining quarters in the year. So yes, we could technically take this fill handle and fill it, but in our directions of our training, we need to do what's called series. So make sure that you highlight F5 to I5. Make sure you are under the Home tab. Click on Fill. Go to Series. We want to go to Series and Rows. Type is Autofill. Click OK. And then it populates Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Okay, so now project step number 6. Now we're going to work in this section here, F7 to I7. So make sure that's highlighted there. In the first quarter of the year, Flexy Wireless sold 2,550 units of a new smart home product called Home Hub. The company wants to increase the sales of the new product to 3,000 units by the fourth quarter. Project the sales for quarters 2, 3, and 4 by filling the series for the first projection range F7 to I7 with a linear trend. So we're going to go right back where we were. We're going to go under Fill, Series. We want Rows. We want Linear. And then click OK. Oh, we got to click Trend. Then click OK. There we go. Now we've got it. So you should have these numbers that populated. The 2,700 and the 2,850. Okay, now we are on to project step number 7. So now we're going to come down here and we are going to work in F9 to I9. So we're going to, again, we're going to highlight this. Gilberto also wants to know how many Home Hub units the company would sell if sales increased by 2% each quarter. So we're going to project the sales for quarters 2, 3, and 4 for the second projection range, which is F9 to I9, based on a growth trend using 1.02 as the step value. So we're going to go back over to Fill, come down to Series. So this one is growth. So we are going to say Series and Rows. Type is growth, and then we want our step value to be 1.02. Once you have that, click OK, and then you should have the following numbers populate over in quarters 2, 3, and 4. Okay, project step number 8. Gilberto wants to visualize how the sales of each type of accessory contributed to the total annual sales for 2023. So we're going to create a 2D pie chart that shows how each type of accessory, which is in ranges A5, that's right here, to A9, and then contributed to the total 2023 sales that are in ranges B5 to B9. So we actually want all of this information here from A5 to B9. So we're now going to create a chart. So let's go up to Insert. Right here, Chart. And it's going to be the very first choice, 2D pie chart. Then you have a chart that just populates onto your spreadsheet. So now we need to move and resize the chart. And to do so, we need to move it to where the upper left-hand corner is in cell A14. So there's A14, and then we need the lower right corner to be in cell D30. So we'll just grab our side handle here. We're going to pull down and over to make sure that it is in cell D30. Okay, that is project step number 8. Project step number 9, we're going to change the chart title just to make it easier to interpret. So chart title, change that to Accessory Sales 2023. Make sure that you spell it correctly as well. All right, so now click inside your chart here so that you get the plus sign. So we're going to click on that, and we want to go to our data labels. So we're going to add a data label to the chart on the inside end of each slice. So let's populate over. Make sure we click on inside end. Keep that box open because now we want to display the value and the percentage in the data labels. So let's click on more options. And then you should have a panel that opens up here on the right. And we want to click on percentage. Once you have that, you can click out and you have all the information that you need for your pie chart. Okay, project step number 10. We will go to the quarter one worksheet. So there's our quarter one worksheet. Gilberto wants to use a copy of the worksheet to track sales in 2024. So we will create a copy of quarter one. So we just simply right click, move our copy. We're going to select create a copy. We want to move it to the end and click OK. So now we see that it has now populated to the end, quarter one, with a number 2 in parentheses because this is now the second quarter one that we have. It's the copy. All right, now we're going to rename quarter one with the number 2 in parentheses to quarter one 2024. And then you can hit enter or tab when you have completed that. Okay, so now, last step, project step number 11. So on this same sheet, the quarter one 2024 worksheet, we're going to clear only the contents from the range B5 to B9. So to do that, we can highlight. We can stay under the Home tab here, go over to Clear, come down here to where it says Clear Contents. And then everything should reset. So now we need to change the date, because this is no longer the 2023 cells, it will now be the 2024 cells. And then this will be over here, the projected, and cell D4 will now be 2025. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. Let's submit it and see how we did. Okay, so we got a 97 out of 100. Let's see what happened. Oh, see there? I did not put in. This is an easy fix. So let's go back over. Let's go back over to our annual cells. I put in annual, I put in accessory cells, 2023. I forgot to put in a space. So that's why it came up incorrect. If you put your space in there, you are good to go. You can go ahead and submit your assignment. So I will go ahead and resubmit mine to show that it is a 100%. And there we go. That is 100%. All right. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out.